Hey friends, I just wanted to share these unique pair of Iron Rangers today. As I'm sure you know, these are just the Red Wing Iron Rangers and the Hawthorne Mule Skinner, which is essentially a lightly waxed rough out. They call it a waxed rough out, but it's nowhere near as waxed as, just Horween wax flesh and stuff. But these are a really cool model because they have been resold and essentially rebuilt by Wyatt and Dad out in North Carolina. I'm sure many of you are aware of their work, but yeah, they're a beautiful kind of local cobbler chain. They've just been really instrumental in popularizing, essentially reselling your boots, or I should say repopularizing. And they got a really interesting story. There's a great interview with one of them on the Stitch Down podcast. It's really interesting, just like from any perspective, both craft artistically and then just like entrepreneurial. Real quick though, I've got this pair of it's not a pair, it's a belt that matches them perfectly. I try to not be too obsessed with matching a belt, but it is really fun when it just works. I wish I could say that it didn't bug me when, like, if you had like brass hardware and silver eyelets and stuff, but yeah, this matches like pretty perfectly. But this is a belt by my buddy David at Treetop Goods. He's got an Etsy, Treetop Goods, and he just makes the most like beautiful stuff, really, really well priced. And he just builds stuff in Chicago. I think he's a professor, but I have a lot of his wallets and belts and stuff. Anyway, back to the boots. So yeah, as you can see, we've got the Dr. Soul super grips on, and these are the full ones, not the half sole. And then you've got a leather stacked heel, slight dogger heel. I think they would call this the logger. But yeah, these are just like a really unique pair of boots, and like, you could sort of joke around that this is how Red Wing should be making their boots, but of course they shouldn't be, because then they would be $500 boots. I do love how simple Red Wings are built, but that being said, this is a much better boot to spend a lot of time in. You've got an added midsole, which Red Wing Iron Rangers do not have. They just have the insole and then the cork and the outsole. So this was just completely revamped, almost to the point where it's a little bit closer to like maybe what a Knicks Americana would be, but with an interesting flair. I don't think has there ever been a green Dr. Soul on Knicks. I know that Knicks is now offering Dr. Souls, just the black or the raw cord ones, for their Parkhurst collaboration, which look really cool. Not really my style, but look great. But yeah, these are just a beautiful boot, and I'm grateful to have them. They're extremely unique, and they kind of like, they're super rugged, but this thing is just it's so refined. It's just really, really cool, and it's been holding up pretty nicely. Like I just got back from Colorado, and I hiked around in the snow a bunch. Walked up a trail for a few miles, nothing too crazy, but just trudging around in the snow and the ice in this abandoned ghost town up in the Rockies, and I don't know, I didn't think twice about them. I did not slip on the ice. My partner was wearing Blundstones, and she did slip on the ice. They truly are, they live up to their name. They're super grips. They did super grip me. But yeah, and I do love how the leather is breaking in. You could tell that it's waxed, a little bit on the edges, but again, a very, very different wax rough out. I wouldn't say better or worse. It's just very different than Horween's wax flesh. But yeah, really fun boot. I believe these are the stock laces that they came with. I tried putting on leather laces, but it just didn't look great. Didn't work. But yeah, how fun. I don't know. Would you want, like, it'd be cool if Red Wing almost had like another line. Well, I guess that's what their Japanese line is, right? Their Japanese stuff is like, what if we made them even cooler? What if we made them the old-fashioned way? That would be sick. And it almost like, it's not personal, but it is strange that Red Wing got, that Red Wing Japan got just the coolest makeups. I don't know if that's still happening. I know it's certainly happening less. But I don't know, it'd be sick. And you always just like kind of wonder. I don't run a massive boot company, but already their heritage line is like a marginal part of their business. And then in additional, I don't know, specialty, artisanal heritage line, if you were, that'd be an even smaller margin. But you kind of go like, wouldn't it be fun? If you have a company that big, wouldn't you just do something so small for it? It's low risk, I guess low reward, but it's super low risk. You're having one of your boot makers dedicate a marginal amount of their time to just making something, a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more out there. That'd be really cool, because it'd be fun if you could just buy these from Red Wing. I would spend, I don't know. I mean, I forget what this job costs, but if you just took your new Red Wings to Wyatt Dad, that'll be altogether, if you get your full price Red Wings, that'll be a $500 boot. That being said, the move is, if you do want a pair of these, you just hold out for not a pair of Iron Rangers to go on sale, or you get factory seconds from Berkeley Supply or Sierra. It's especially this year, I'm seeing so many Red Wings for, at 30% off, certainly 20% off, sometimes 40, 50% off. So, that's a good move, actually. If you just get, Berkeley Supply, it's probably not going anymore, but they had a bunch of like old stock boots that weren't even factory seconds, and they were like heavily discounted at like a good 40% off. So yeah, you get one of those Iron Rangers for $200, and then you add another 150, 200. I don't know what this package probably costs more. It's probably like $250 now, but not the worst deal. Yeah, so pretty fun boots. They're pretty unique, and yeah, I don't know. Red Wings are the coolest that you could just really, they're easy enough to resole, affordable enough to resole, and they're great as they are, but it is fun to, dress them up a little bit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.